And speaking of destruction, let me show you something.
Perfect.
Hello guys and welcome to another MK Mobile character review, today featuring Pretty Lady Leatherface. As always guys, please note the date when this video has been uploaded because a lot of things may have changed since then, and if you are not aware of the matrix I'm using in order to evaluate characters, you can find it on the top right corner of the screen. So without any further ado, let's put Leatherface to the test. Pretty Lady Leatherface guys has some amazing stats. His attack is 65,205, which is the 4th highest in MK Mobile. The hit points, they are 121,882, the 8th highest. Overall, the toughness is 52,164, the 7th highest in the game, and the recovery is 49,896, which is the 7th, again, highest in MK Mobile. Power generation is 110%. As we can see guys, Leatherface is in top 10 in every single one of the basic stats. That is why he gets 22.4 out of possible 28 for his basic stats. An incredible achievement for sure. So, this is the name of Pretty Lady Leatherface Special 1. What you need to know about it is that first it can be completely blocked by the opponent. However, it has luck as main buff, which is incredible. Also, it can be cast from distance, even though I never actually had the opportunity to test it from long distance. Definitely at mid-range it will connect. Special 1 of Leatherface is lethal and it consists of 3 mini hits. In general, pretty solid looking Special 1. When it comes to the damage, it has 21,517, which is the 7th highest in the game again. The maximum damage is 43,035, again the 7th highest in MK Mobile. And once again, to repeat the properties, the ability can be completely blocked, it has luck as main buff, it can be cast from distance, it is lethal, and it consists of 3 mini attacks. So for his Special 1, Leatherface gets 9.6 out of 12, another incredible achievement here. Special 2 of Leatherface guys is called Soul to the Face. Like his Special 1, this ability can be completely blocked by the opponent. However, this time we have Power Generation as buff, another very useful buff on his special attack. And unfortunately, when it comes to his Special 2 guys, you have to keep in mind that it will completely miss if you're not close enough to the opponent, as you can currently see. That's really unfortunate. However, the ability is lethal and it consists of 7 mini attacks, so be very careful when you're doing Special 2, especially if the opponent is low, it will definitely trigger the Revenant. When it comes to damage, the minimum damage of Special 2 of Leatherface is 53,794, the 4th highest in MK Mobile, and the maximum damage is 109,740, which is the 3rd highest in the game. Incredible performance here. Once again, to repeat the properties, the ability can be completely blocked by the opponent, it has Power Generation as main buff, it cannot be cast from anywhere, be very careful there. It is lethal and it consists of 7 mini attacks. So the total score for Leatherface Special 2 is 10.9 out of 18 possible points. The X-ray of Leatherface guys is called Blood and Guts, another X-ray that looks amazing in my opinion. It has Strength as main buff, not really the best buff in the game unfortunately. Once again, this ability can be cast from distance, so you don't need to be exactly next to the opponent before you cast his X-ray. When it comes to damage, the damage is 129,105, again guys, the 7th highest in MK Mobile. And once again, to repeat the properties of the X-ray, it has Strength as main buff and it can be cast from distance, so for his X-ray Leatherface gets 3.1 out of 4 possible points, and the total score for his special attacks combined is 23.6 out of 34. Quite a decent achievement. Okay guys, we got to the main weakness of Leatherface, his basic attacks. First of all, I wouldn't say that his basic attacks are that slow. A lot of people are saying that he is one of the slowest characters in the game. Probably he is, but I don't think that he is that slow. However, on the other hand, if we start talking about the chaining of his basic attacks, he is really bad there. Probably equally bad comparing to the speed of his basic attacks. Now, every time when he is doing a basic attack combo, he doesn't push the opponent back and he doesn't push himself back. Instead of that, he actually slams the opponent to the ground, which always leaves him vulnerable for counterattack. In addition, every time when he finishes a combo ender, he needs to put his chainsaw on his back, which is actually the slowest animation in the game, and again, it leaves him vulnerable for counterattack. As you might have guessed already, I'm really not a fan of Leatherface basic attacks. I'm not saying he's the worst, but he's one of the worst there. So I'm giving him 2.5 points for his basic attacks and 2 points for the chaining of the basic attacks, for a total of only 4.5 out of 10. Dog Will Hunt, this is the name of Leatherface's passive. It basically consists of two parts. We're going to cover them one by one. The first part is all about hitting the opponents with basic attack combinations or being hit by basic attack combinations, because every time when one of those two events happen, then you have 30% chance to become enraged, which actually means that for 6 seconds you'll be dealing plus 300% damage for your basic attacks and for your special attacks, which is amazing. Especially if you have already 2 bars of power, you can basically one-shot almost any character, not actually almost, you will destroy every character in the game. Of course, you have to be careful, because after all, special 2 of Leatherface can be completely blocked, so even if you have the buff from your passive, you have to be careful about the possibility of your special attack getting blocked. And the second part of his passive is that when Leatherface is tagged out, and if one of your other guys is stunning the opponent, there's a 50% chance that Leatherface will intervene and hit the opponent character with his chainsaw. I really find the second part of his passive funnier, and a lot of times I'm using Leatherface with other 2 guys that can stun, such as Scorpion, Stun Double, Johny Cage, Aftershock Tremor, and so on, because I really enjoy the second part of Leatherface passive. It looks really cool and it can deal amazing damage. In the end of the day, after the battle is over, Leatherface might be the guy who has dealt the most damage of your team without actually tagging in the entire battle. This is how much damage it does. However, I have one big issue with both parts of his passive, and the issue is that they're entirely chance based. There might be games where Leatherface will, let's say, activate the first part of his passive all the time, and there are other games where this will never happen. There will be games when every time when you stun an opponent, Leatherface will intervene, let's say 2 or 3 or even 4 times in a row, but there will be games where this will never happen. And especially about the second part of his passive, I really don't feel like the chance is really 50%. It's more likely to be about 30-40% tops. And basically this is my main concern with Leatherface passive. It is entirely chance based, and the chance is not really high, unfortunately. In general, very nice passive. It is useful when Leatherface is tagged in, it is useful when Leatherface is tagged out. In other words, the passive is great if Leatherface is supporting, the passive is great if Leatherface is your main character in the team, so I will be giving it 17 points out of 20. In addition, Leatherface is only a Netherlands character, so he gets 1 point for classes and 0 points for tagging attack because he doesn't have any. So what we have to do now, guys, is we have to answer the easy question whether Leatherface is a good character. Basically, he has sky high stats, amazing damage on his special abilities and amazing buffs on his special abilities as well. His passive is again great, and it makes him very good support and a very good damage dealer at the same time. So I'll be giving him 2 out of my 3 entirely subjective points. The reason why I'm not giving him 3 points is first, because of his passive is entirely chance based. Second, his basic attacks are not very good, to be honest, probably his weakest spot, and in addition both of his special attacks can be blocked. Apart from that, Leatherface is almost a perfect character, so for the first time we have a character that can actually cross the 70-point line. Leatherface scored 70.5 out of 100 points, so definitely he ranks as a great character. Final verdict: great character. If you're using Leatherface as a support, guys, then I would say that he's pretty good against MK11 Jade and Jade, because once you stun any of those girls, there's 50% chance that Leatherface will come and finish her off and leave her, let's say, at 5 HP. So I would say he's pretty good against them. And of course, there are characters out there who are very tough matchups for Leatherface. One of them should be Ravenous Melina because of her stunning tag-in attack. Also, Hellspawn Scorpion can be an issue for Leatherface because he takes 50% less damage from Netherland, and Classic, Raiden and Pankasi are also tough matchups for Leatherface because every time when they tag in, he loses power. Now, when it comes to items, I always use only one item set, and it consists of Rat Hammer. Definitely he needs a Rat Hammer. In the armor slot, you can equip him with either Earth Elemental Face Mask or Shao Kahn's Helmet, both will do fine. In the accessory slot, I'm giving him Cylinder's Ring because he definitely needs that resistance to the buff, especially taking into consideration how slow he is. And as the last piece of equipment, guys, always give him a Rusty Chainsaw. This is by far the best item for him. It increases the duration of his passive buff. It gives him unblockable chance for his basic attacks, which is very important considering how slow he is, and of course it reduces the power cost of his special 2 by 50%. Okay guys, we got to the best teams. I don't want to be Captain Obvious here and saying to you, you know what, you can put him in a horror team, but I'm going to mention it anyways. Leatherface will do okay in a horror team, have no doubt about it. However, I really like having him as a support. And you can see on the screen a lot of combinations of teams where you can use Leatherface, and most of the cases you don't even have to tag in with him, just put him in a team, give him a Rat Hammer and watch some destruction. All you need for a good Leatherface team is some characters that have stun. And speaking of destruction, let me show you something. Okay guys, we got to the end of the video. Leatherface scored 70.5 points out of 100, so we labeled him as a definitely great character. His only issues are actually the speed of his basic attacks, the sloppy basic attacks combos, and of course the fact that both of his special attacks can be entirely blocked. As always guys, please let me know how you feel about this character in the comment section below, and if you want to see more reviews, you can find them on the top right corner of the screen. So, thank you very much for watching guys, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Perfect. Perfect.